January 20th cannot come soon enough. A woman was burned to death by an illegal alien on a New York City subway. I want to play that report for you and also what Tom Homan has to say about it. Let's check it out.
A man suspected of setting a woman on fire on a New York City subway is facing murder and arson charges. That's as we learn new details about the suspect in custody. That's him right there, leaving court just in the last hour or so. This video just in. ICE saying in a statement the man is a Guatemalan citizen who appears to have entered the country illegally for a second time. And police say a woman sleeping on the F train, back to the crime here, was brutally murdered by that.
He entered the United States in 2018 illegally, and then he was deported 6 days later, and then since then came back into the country.
Suspect. Graphic video capturing the moment it happened. We're going to show it to you, but we want to warn you. It can give you a chance to turn away if you don't want to see it. We have blurred the body of the victim. Here's that video here. You can see a man that appears to be sitting on the bench watching as the victim was engulfed in flames. NBC's Julia Ainsley has more on this.
My God.
That's right, Maggie. We're learning more details about the suspect in that horrendous crime on the New York City subway. ICE today, that's Immigration and Customs Enforcement, saying the suspect in this case is a 33-year-old Guatemalan man by the name of Sebastian Zapata, who they say entered the country illegally and was removed by ICE in 2018. But that at some point in time, he crossed back into the country illegally in violation of that deportation order. It's not clear where else he's been in the United States. The New York Police Department says they also don't believe that there was a connection between the suspect and the victim, but that it's not clear that he so much as talked to the victim. The NYPD said that they had a pretty clear description of him. They were able to see him so well because of the surveillance videos that were around the F train at the time, which shows him just right outside of the train watching this horrendous crime take place. And the police were able to come down, but it was before it was too late for this woman because they smelled smoke. So in the meantime, ICE has issued a detainer to the NYPD so that whenever this suspect is finished with his time in the process, even if that's after a sentencing for homicide and arson, they could then take custody of him and deport him. So more details as we learn it, Maggie, about this suspect and this horrendous crime.
Thanks for
he needs to be more than deported. I say this guy needs to be locked up for the rest of his life. I'm okay with the death penalty. There have already been calls for that. This is not okay. And Kathy, before I get to Tom Homan, Kathy Hochul was on social media on X boasting about how safe it is to ride the subway. Here she is taking pictures with riders, and they're talking about how crime is down, ridership is up, this and that. But she also made a post about the suspect being caught because of her brand new security systems. Check it out. A suspect is now in custody, an illegal alien. I'm going to throw it in there. For the horrific incident on the F train, our brand new security cameras help law enforcement find the suspect and arrest him. Grateful to NYPD and MTAPD for their aggressive response. I mean, okay. Now you're bragging about these cameras, but you were just, I don't know. Anyway, let's not get into that. Let's play what Tom Homan had to say about this situation.
month, meeting with Mayor Adams about the illegal immigrant crisis. Incoming border czar Tom Homan. Tom, I know you were in Phoenix. You were caught up in the big speech yesterday and the president's first extensive remarks about his agenda. But from what I just told you, what are your thoughts?
Well, look, this is another example of an illegal alien killing American citizens. It's almost a daily occurrence now, you know, because historic number of criminal aliens walking the streets because of this administration's policy in sanctuary jurisdictions and lax immigration enforcement. ICE has their hands tied. Secretary Mayorkas have given them priorities that they can't even go arrest an illegal alien anymore unless he's convicted of a serious crime. Then maybe they can arrest him. So this is on this administration. As far as Governor Hochul, shame on her. She supports sanctuary status in that state. She welcomed thousands of illegal aliens to her state. She sent them to Buffalo and Syracuse. Murders occurred by illegal aliens in Buffalo and Syracuse. She has a green light law. ICE and CBP can't even work with local law enforcement. Local law enforcement can't even share DMV data with these people. So Governor Hochul, shame on you. There's nothing you can say that's going to make this right in New York.
All right, you didn't get a chance to see Secretary Mayorkas in his exit interview on CBS. Talked about how proud he is that the border is down to 50,000, so the problem is virtually solved. Here's what he said, though, when pressed by Margaret Brennan about how he loses track of children. Watch.
We certainly have received reports of children being trafficked, even those as to whom we know where they are. That is outside the responsibility of the Department of Homeland Security. Of course, we investigate cases of trafficking. But there are children who are reunited with a parent here in the United States or a legal guardian, and they move, and sometimes the government loses track.
So does that explain everything? What should I know about his statement?
It's nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. Border numbers aren't down. They're just putting them through the CBP One app and the CHNV app. You add those programs together, what Border Patrol's catching in the gotaways, we're still have historic numbers. They were bragging the other day that ICE has over 247,000 removals, the most in a decade. No, they don't. If you look at the data, 80% of them were Border Patrol apprehensions that ICE just simply put across the border. ICE interior enforcement numbers are historic lows.
And I reported on this the other day. They had 271,000 deportations in the fiscal year of 2024, but only 47,000 of those were from ICE arrests on the interior, way lower than under what they were under Trump. And what he's talking about with the CBP One app, here's a report from the Texas Scorecard. Newly released numbers show that more than 1.4 million foreign nationals entered the United States between January 23 and November 24 through two Biden administration programs. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol released its monthly update for November 2024, which showed 1.4 million illegal aliens have entered the U.S. using CBP One app and the CHNV, China, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela parole program. According to numbers between January 23 and November 24, 904,500 individuals scheduled appointments to CBP One app, a mobile application that allows illegal aliens from all over the world to set up appointments for their border crossings at ports of entry. Venezuelans, Cubans, Mexicans were the top nationalities to use the app. Illegal aliens also use the CHNV parole program, which allows 30,000 nationals per month from 4 target countries to fly to the U.S. and remain in the country for up to 2 years. More than 500,000 Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, and Venezuelan nationals entered the country from January 23 to the end of November of this year. In total, 110,000 Cubans, 211,000 Haitians, 93,000 Nicaraguans, and 117,000 Venezuelan nationals were granted parole into the U.S. This is why we're seeing so many problems. This is exactly why. And not to add sanctuary city, we have to add sanctuary cities on top of that. This is why we're seeing so many problems, because you're just allowing hundreds of thousands and over 1 million people into the country in the past year. You know anything about these people.
And as far as the children, another lie. Under his guidance, under his leadership, first of all, it's his policies that caused over 500,000 of children being smuggled in this country, trafficking in this country, and they lost track with 340,000 of them. His lips are moving, he's lying, and he needs to be held accountable. Nothing he said in that interview is truthful.
And the thing is, Tom, it's not because he's naive. He knows he's not telling the truth. He worked for you. He was down there before, and he'll go ahead and implemented these problems and these policies anyway. And he also knew who to blame. Listen to this.
Summer of last year, border crossings were at record highs. Now they've dropped to the lowest level of the Biden administration. How much of that drop-off is because Mexico is now stopping migrants from even getting to that southern border of the United States?
That is critically one element of it. It is not the only element of it. The president took executive action in June of this year. That has been a key driver of the low number of encounters at our border. We are now delivering to the incoming administration a southern border at which the number of individuals encountered is well below the level experienced in 2019, the last year before the pandemic.
Your thoughts about this?
Another lie. The numbers are not down like they claim they are because they've taken thousands of illegal aliens, bring them to our city, straight to the airports under the CHNV program, straight into our airports from countries. Same illegal alien population, but they divide them in 3 buckets. Let's bring thousands to our airports through CHNV. Let's bring thousands a day to the CBP1 app, and we're still catching thousands a day by the Border Patrol. He's lying. They took the same illegal alien population, divide them in 3 different buckets. So the encounters are not down to historic levels like he said. And bottom line is, it isn't about the number of people you deport, it's about the number of people you release in this country. Over 8 million illegal aliens you release in this country, and that's why we have the crime rate we have today, and that's why, look, you know what's going to fix this whole problem? President Trump's going to fix this issue, because we're going to shut the border down, we're going to have the largest deportation operation this country's ever seen, and we will find over 340,000 children that you lost track of, that you released to unvetted sponsors. Many are in sex trafficking, many are in forced labor. We will rescue those children that you traffic into the United States.
Lastly, is this whole thing because of worldwide migration, and they just happen to be president, and he happens to be in office when this migration was just moving around the planet?
Look, under President Trump, we had historic lows in illegal immigration. We had the most secure border in our lifetime. They came into office and purposely, by design, unsecured the border, wrote 90 executive orders abolishing everything we did to give us the most secure border in our lifetime. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't his management. This was on purpose. He needs to be held accountable.
So the illegal immigrants pride themselves on knowing American politics and knowing how to work it. I hope they're watching now, and the word is, if they are, they will turn around and they'll go back home because they're not getting in. Tom Homan, thanks so much. It was a quick turn.
Yeah, the numbers are just being fudged. They're moving around to 3 different avenues. This app and then this program with Cubans and Venezuelans and Haitians and Nicaraguans. This is what happens when you flood the country with people. We have 8 million people apparently into this country. You're bound to have criminals. You're bound to have people who are going to commit serious crimes. This is third world stuff we're seeing. Setting people on fire and watching them. This is lunacy. This man needs to be behind bars the rest of his life. Don't just deport him back to Guatemala. Put him in a prison cell. Because he came back before. He got deported by Trump, then he came back. I don't know, maybe, we don't know when he came back, but the way we're seeing the flood coming in under this administration, it's very likely he came back in under Biden when the floodgates were opened. So yeah, this is crazy stuff. Very sad situation. The woman was only 29 years old. Sad stuff to see, but January 20th, we're going to see some change. All right, guys, like and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you. Take care.